What are the emotions like ahead of the season opener?
I think they're fine. I feel our guys understand that the areas where we need to be better in, and I feel our guys understand what our identity should be at the end of the day. But they're excited to go play some real games. I think.
The emotions and the excitement and all of that, is that the same year in, year out? Whether you made the playoffs last year, you won the championship, you missed it, is it always an exciting time to start the season?
Yeah, I think for every team, every team has hope and optimism at the beginning of the year, and probably about a third of the way through the season, that's when stuff starts to settle down a little bit, and teams begin to start separating themselves from each other at that point in time, and then by the All-Star break, that's when you know that these teams are going to stay with it, and these teams are going to kind of give up.
Mike, we heard you kind of go off on your team. What was the message coming out of whatever this is, training camp or preseason heading into the regular season?
It's the same message. We have to defend. I know we can score. We got talented players with a really good feel on that end of the floor, and whether we finish in the top 5 offensively, top 10 offensively, or best of the team that we did last year, I think that will happen. I'd be surprised if it doesn't, because we're for the most part playing the same way, but defensively, I know for me, I'm not going to sit here and watch us play the same way we did defensively last year without making changes.
Was it a regression, or is it just something that you're trying to really emphasize before the tipping things off?
Yeah, it kind of both. You're never going to be in a situation with a group of people where it just goes like that. You're going to hit some bumps or some curves or some adversity, which at the end of the day I like, because I want to see if you can look a challenge on and take it on and overcome it, or you can look at some adversity or take some adversity on and overcome it as a group. So I'm okay with the setbacks, and I plan on us having some setbacks, and hopefully they get pissed at me and they all rally and say, F you, Mike, and go do it together. I'm okay with that.
You've talked about Fox's
I got
defense.
my grandson that always liked me. He'll always like me.
Right.
If he don't, I'll buy him a toy.
Right.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm sorry.
Who has improved since the first day of training camp to now defensively? You would say?
I think everybody has, but again, everybody's not going to always be here. That's the tough part. We're going to have some slippage in life. Just in general in life, slippage can be invisible. You know what I'm saying? If you're not careful, it can happen, and if you don't address it, in my opinion, it can sneak up on you, and then it'd be too late to try to fix it. So I'm looking for any slippage at all at any time, and if I see it, I'm going to address it, because in order to go from good to great, you have to lock in on the details. You got to focus. One of the things you have to do is you got to focus on the details, and you got to appreciate how important those things are, and which means that anytime something small happens, you're just not going to be like, okay, that's fine, we'll be good. I just messed up. Well, no. It happened. Let's address it, and let's understand how important it is, so that it doesn't happen again as often as it had been going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got a zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance right now, and I shouldn't be the only one having a zero tolerance. Everybody on that floor should have a zero tolerance, and that's what I want to make sure we get to.
Do you want some of those guys to call it out so you don't
Heck
have to?
yeah. Heck yeah. Your best teams, or the best teams I've been on, have that internally, because that peer pressure, that's a mug to have.
Are you,
on this level.
sorry, are you specifically more on Fox and Domas to do that, or is it everybody?
It starts with Fox and Domas for sure, but everybody falls in line to that. It can be anybody. In Golden State, it was Andre Iguodala. I was in Cleveland way back in the day. This guy wasn't even starting for us. It was Eric Snow. So it could be anybody at any time.
You've talked about Fox's defense, and he sounds like he's committed to that. How big a part of that is that in terms of his growth is someone who's becoming an elite player in this league, and also the team's ceiling?
No, it's huge. He's gonna have to, which he has shown he's more than capable of, and he's done it so far. He's gonna have to make strides defensively. He's gonna have to make strides with his leadership, and he's done both of those, in my opinion, with a pretty big leap in just a matter of a year. But he's gonna have to continue, and I'm gonna be on him to continue, because in order for us to be great, he's got to be great basically every night or every time we step on the floor.
Mike, in seasons past, or at least last season, you've broken up the season into 5-game increments. Are you carrying that into this year? And what is the, I guess, goal for these first 5 games?
Yeah, no, we're. I don't want to necessarily try to project, and we will a little bit, like project. This is what needs to happen these 5 games. It's more to look back on the 5 games than anything else and say, okay, hey, we slipped here, let's get better for the next set. Because when you start projecting, anything can happen. Now, the part that we do project is 5-0, great. 4-1 is pretty doggone good. Okay, we'll take 3-2, but anything less than that, it's going to be hard to live with. Obviously, we got to live with it because it happened last year, and it's going to happen. But we want to stay away from that.
Couple more guys.
Hey, when you
Mike,
look
we
at
see Chris back out on the court today. Just how does he look? Number one, number two. How open is that position going forward? Still, is it decided what's going to happen on opening night? But maybe even
Kevin's gonna start.
Friday or Sunday.
Kevin's going to start, and every time we practice, every time we have shoot around, it's my job to evaluate the team. And I told the group there, I said, I know for sure I'm not going to sit back and watch us play the same way we played defensively without making changes. It doesn't just mean Kevin. That could mean anybody. Obviously Fox and Domas, a little harder to make a change there, but that can mean anybody, and not just with the starting 5. It could be with the 8th guy in the rotation. Well, if he can't bring it defensively, maybe we need to put somebody else in his spot. But our team, from top to bottom, has to understand that we got to defend, and we don't and will not finish 25th or 26th defensively as a team.
When you look at Utah, they of course got a little bigger with call-ins. They're long, athletic, play some zone. What's kind of your view on that team and the challenges they present?
Will does a great job. They run a lot of really good stuff. Their ball movement is good. They have guys who can go get it one-on-one situations off the dribble. They get guys who can shoot it. Like you said, they are long, and so they pose some challenges defensively. They junk it up a little defensively too with the way they play their zone and the way they slice the corners. And so it's a good test for us. Obviously, the altitude is a little different there, and at the end of the day, that's real. But that's where you have to have a mental toughness, a mental discipline to go in there and not let it impact you. So they got some different things that can give us headaches. But if we go and we play the way we're capable of, and I feel this against anybody, we should give ourselves a good chance to come out of any arena, especially our home arena, with a victory.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks,
Thanks,
Coach.
Mike.